Okay, hey guys, going live. Hey, we are live. Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. So I wanted to do this for some time. I wanted to do like the Neo Geo CD Core. I wanted to do like the Sega Saturn Core, but man, I've just been busy at work. But now I've got 24 days, and in that 24 days, I've got to do family stuff and a few little trips around and whatnot. But you know what? I'm going to be doing plenty of videos and hopefully plenty of live streams. Yo, Chris. Yeah, Goldman, everyone else, Joseph, hey guys, how you doing? So if anyone's got any requests, then get them in. But I have to say, like, starting this is just banging. So if I go to my games list now, the first thing that I notice now, so I am running the latest unstable build on the latest version of the MiSTer Stable OS. So the first thing that I noticed is, okay, so the normal folder I've got, I just named that. Those are the normal CD games. I can't remember what the file extension is. Hey, old video game heaven, Goldman, all good. Hey, buddy. Yeah, so the normal ones are like CD ones. Now, previously, when I selected CDZ in the menu and I went to load the CD one, the CD bar would go up about 3/4 and crash. So instead, I had to use these CHD files, which a few of you guys actually sorted out for me. So thank you for that. But going into normals, it's just booting everything 4-speed when I was actually trying this out beforehand. So yeah, so like literally everything just worked. I can't remember what ADK world is. Is it a shmup? I'm quite in the mood for a little bit of a shmup. Why not? Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I kind of got that Double Dragon Gaiden on the Switch. I haven't played it yet. I have played it. I played like a few minutes of it, and honestly, like, yeah, just I didn't really think it was that great. I want to give it a little bit more of a chance. But when you've got stuff like Turtles and Streets of Rage 4, the bar's set higher for new beat 'em ups now, and it's nowhere near in that league. So I'll have to check this out. Okay, what is this game that I have loaded? ADK Town. Right, so let's go to the movies. And hopefully it will launch into something. It's not some weird, like, text-based game. Talking of like cinema, yeah, I've got to start. I've got to take the kids cinema, man. I hate cinema. Really not a fan of cinema, but it's just one of those things that you have to do. My wife's taking my daughter and my niece to watch Mission Impossible. I'd rather watch that, to be honest, but the boys are younger, 7, 9, and their cousin who's 8. I'm gonna end up taking them to some kiddies movie, man. And I was trying to palm it off for my wife, but it's not happening. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, this guy that's flying around, is he not the guy from oh wow, okay, is he not the guy from World Heroes? You know, the one with the longer limbs? Wow, this is kind of tough. Plus I'm super sucky. And okay, so there's missiles that pop down there as well. A very weird shmup. Like, can't say I've tried this before. I thought I did, but I would have remembered this floating guy floating the way he is, you know. This kind of feels like one of them shmups, you know, when you've got like one of those apps and it lets you put assets in yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna put a character from a beat 'em up flying around because, hey, you know what, I can. It lets me drag the asset in here. That looks like it's gonna give me a power up. No? Okay. Wow. Okay, definitely a unique game. Okay, one more hit and I should be, yep, okay, we are out. Hey Nico, how you doing, bud? Hey, nice one, bro, nice one. Okay, 19YY. So I guess is the 19YY like a play on the Capcom 1942 and, you know, the other 19 games. So if anyone wants anything, I'll just scroll through the list. I won't do it too fast, but if there's anything here you guys want to see, I think this might be the whole ROM set. I'm not quite sure. I thought I had everything on CD, and on CHD I didn't quite have everything. But hey, there's plenty of stuff there anyway. There's cross swords too. Hopefully the buttons are kind of okay and we can yeah, hopefully the buttons are kind of okay. Hey Rainer, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Yeah, I've done a little time setting up the kind of thing. I like having the chat there real time because if I ever edit it later for interruptions or anything that might happen, it kind of gets rid of the live chat, at least if it's on screen, because we've got space for it. All this stuff is, you know, it's not 16:9, so there's space there. So here I am. I'm trying to do my budget kind of set making skills, but I'm quite happy with it. I think it looks okay. Okay, so game start. Now, I remember this being like quite tough to play. All right, I'm gonna have to go with a Ninja because hey, you know, we like the Ninja stuff. Mode 1, okay, we're gonna go mode 1 because I'm pretty sure mode 1 is more than likely the easier mode. But how's everyone doing? Like, how's everyone's summer holidays going? You know, if you're a single guy, then I guess it doesn't really matter so much. But if you're a family guy and you've got kids, you know, have you got any time off around the summer holidays? I end up going, unless I'm going away throughout the year to places. Okay, so I end up using a bit of my time. So I've used half of my annual leave for this, which with my roster days off kind of gets me 24 days off. It worked out as this time. So I end up using that just so I've got time off with the kids. Sometimes we go away, but often I send the wife and the kids away because if they go and visit a relative in another country, we've got relatives spread around. They usually go Italy, to be honest, as my wife's sister lives out there. And yeah, they end up going there and I end up just kind of working a bit and chilling in and taking some leave when they get back. Do you know what? Who remembers when this game actually came out? Like, I remember seeing this in magazines, man. This was like amazing when it came out. Just looking at it, it was like, wow, like the next level. And to be honest, it plays, for what it is, it plays quite well. You had, if anyone remembers, you had like a lot of those kind of dungeon crawling RPGs. You had some on the Amiga and like the early PCs. You know, this is like the live action version of one of those. You know, you're kind of going through, you're seeing those things, seeing like enemies ahead of you, but you've got some real good attacks that you can do. I'm kind of just button mashing here. I'm not really using too much. I don't know what that was. Was it a fireball? It looked like a burning watermelon or something. Sorry, just gonna read some of the comments. Oh, okay, cool. No, I'll look out for that, Goldman. Sorry, by the way, old video games heaven is Goldman from the Discord, but Goldman's a lot easier to say. So unless I say OVH. Yeah, so Rainer, like, it's actually working now on actual CDs. Nico, I'm from the UK, I'm from London. But yeah, so the latest update, I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting it to work. I haven't done much reading as to what's new. I thought, let me just put it on there. And because I like doing this live testing and finding stuff out like there and on the spot. But yeah, the cracked games worked before. Now, everything seems to be working. I like the cutscenes for this, but let's move on to something else. So, okay, so these are settings I've got. I've got it on AES mode. I don't know if it makes a difference on Neo Geo CD, but I've left it on that anyway. BIOS, I've left it on the original. I have got the Uni BIOS there as well. NTSC, yeah, only option because who wants to play a slow PAL version of the game. So I've got CD type. I've got it set to CDZ. Now, previously, around a month ago, when I've done the last couple of live streams on this, CDZ only worked with the cracked games, but it didn't work with anything else. And so now, even I've got that set to CDZ, it's given the normal CD game. So if you haven't already got a crack set and you've only got like the CD set, well, they're working for me, and so far everything has worked like better than my expectation. I guess it's I didn't try it for a long time, and now that I'm kind of on there, it's kind of working. Cyberlip, I've kind of got a guilty pleasure for this game. I actually played this on the Analog Pocket quite a bit. Just thought it plays really nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if I run into any issues, I will. What I'll probably do is if it doesn't work on 4, I'll probably start going down from 3, 2, 1 rather than 1, 2, 3 to find out exactly where the threshold is. And guys, if you're not familiar with Nico Clem, he's got an excellent YouTube channel as well. He covers a lot of MiSTer stuff, and to be honest, I learn a lot of stuff even though his channel is in French, because sometimes he comes out with stuff really quick. So especially if you're French speaking, and you know, the best French MiSTer news is from Nico Clem's channel, so definitely check that out. Okay, let's go and do that now. So joystick or spinner? Yeah, I'm only using a joystick, so I kind of want to get a spinner, but I need something small and cheap. I've seen people showing some small ones out there, and it does actually look decent. Data load. Okay, so let's load there, because I probably haven't got any data there. So here we go. So this reminds me, this game actually, Cyberlip, reminds me of like a cross between Contra and Metal Slug. It's almost like you it's almost like you combine the two and this is what you get. You know, if you went into like one of those is it ChatGPT or what's them other ones that does the pictures, and you put in Contra one end and Metal Slug and you said combine them and make a baby, that's what you get. No, Nico, you're more than welcome, buddy, man. And you're very helpful as well. So, you know, if I've ever contacted you on Discord or anything like that, you've always been super helpful. So it's all appreciated, and that goes for everyone in the community, man. I'm really, do you know what? Like when you're in like your mid 40s, I'm gonna be like 46 soon, so I guess I'm approaching kind of 50. You know, you're old, but the habits you kind of got when you were young, you still stick with them. I've got an uncle who's in his late 70s, and when he was young, like there weren't games or anything, it was like projector movies, and that's his big interest. He's still into his movies. He's turned his shed into like a movie theater, and that's what he does, and I think that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing our old games. But what's really nice is, since kind of joining like the MiSTer, you know, I met a whole bunch of really cool people, you know, like normal users like me, developers, and everyone's got the kind of same interests. So straight away, you know, you're going to get on. You know, you're not playing like, you're not meeting like random people out there. It's kind of like when shoutouts.com first came out, and we were speaking on there, and it was really nice because, you know, wherever we went to, we just asked people, hey, like, you know, I'm going over, like I went to Holland, when I went Italy, and I posted there, and I met like a lot of the local Street Fighter players there, because, you know, you've got the same interest, and with a MiSTer, I'm experiencing the same thing. In fact, one of the viewers of the channel, an American guy, he was actually here on holiday, like a really kind guy. He actually offered to give me, send me a free analog pocket stand because I wasn't using one of the videos. But then I said to him, look, the postage is going to cost too much, that's not really worth it. And someone else actually sent me one, but he messaged me and he said, look, we're in the UK on a holiday. So I actually met up with him. You know, I gave him my number. He was in London for a couple of days. He was kind of touring the country, Scotland and like the Midlands everywhere. And yeah, he popped over. It was just really nice to meet him. You know, met him, his wife and his two daughters, went and had a coffee, spent like a couple of hours with a guy, and it was really nice. Like a really cool guy, you know, like really into his Game Boy. So Justin, buddy, if you are watching, then that's a shout out to you. And that goes for like any of you guys as well. You know, I want to do like a offline thing one day, probably Free Play City. I'll do like a community post. So if anyone, you know, is in London or is you know, can make it down to London, there's like an arcade venue we can all go and hang in and play some arcade games, I suppose. So it's nice to meet people of the same interest, is what I'm saying. Okay, that is a bizarre looking video. Let me have a look at the chat. So here we go. Yeah, I know. You know what, Nico Clem, I do need to do that sometimes. I know you told me about the subtitles. I haven't always used them. Hey, Retro Hamster, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, sometimes the auto translators. Oh, okay. I kind of set auto file there. I don't know how I've done that. Yeah, the auto translators, they can be a bit funny sometimes. Okay, so let's load another game, guys. If you want to see anything, just fire away down here, and I'm quite happy to load it. This isn't really about me playing the games. It's more about kind of chilling as well. Yeah, oh no, definitely, yeah, definitely, Nico. I've met like a lot of good people, man, through this. Mainly online friends, but you know what? A lot of my friends that I'm hanging with now, like my tightest friends, like I've got the friends that I grew up with, that I went to school with. I still see them from time to time, and it's always a pleasure to see them, and it's cool. But a lot of them aren't hardcore into gaming, and the guys that I was kind of hanging with for a long period of time was all my Street Fighter guys, all my Street Fighter guys that we met via Shoryuken. We played like Capcom vs SNK 2, Third Strike, Hyper Street Fighter 2 on the original Xbox, and we used to speak on Shoryuken, and we ended up becoming friends. Like all the kind of London and okay, this one might be the first one with an issue, but it was a couple of things here. So sorry, all like the guys in London, even from guys around the country, just kind of ended up just becoming friends because you kind of all had the same interest. So yeah, so those are the guys I'm probably hanging with the most. But unfortunately, all my friends have spread out. Like I haven't really got many people near me. I've got a few near me that I went to school with, but they're all like partying and going out, and they still kind of go out and they party like we did when they were, you know, when we were like 18 or 19 or even early 20s. And Okay, what's going on here now? That's 2 in a row. Okay, interesting. Right, so that's Metal Slug, Metal Slug, and Metal Slug 2 for some reason didn't work. So okay, oh, that's a good game. Hopefully, if not, I want to go for a reset and see what's happening there. Okay, cool. This one looks like it's gonna load, or is it? Okay, I've just gone for a combo of games that haven't worked. So let me, just for testing purposes, let's go into one that we know works. So let's just go and load Cyberlip again. If that loads, then okay, cool. It might be something. I've got the CHDs that I can load as well. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's bizarre because the other CDs are working. You know, when I was messing about with this before the stream, everything just worked, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Okay, thanks, Nico. Yeah, oh, by the way, sorry, Nico, these aren't the patch versions that I'm running. I'm running the normal CD version. So if I show you the folders I've got here, I've got normal, which is the normal CD rips that I've had for like quite some time. So these are like the normal CD ones, you know, before the CDZ support and the 4x loading was in. And this is the CHD ones, which are, was it on the protections removed or whatever? Sorry, man, like, I remember once I put them on there, I kind of seem to forget. So, okay, so Cyberlip's working. So it's possible some of the CDs or the normal CD rips that I've got aren't going to work. But we've got the CDZ ones as well. But like it is, it's experimenting. This is absolutely love. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's try the first one. Hopefully this will load up. I really do like The Last Blade. I wish if I kind of knew how to play it. It's a great fighter. Cool. Yeah, I might. If you're Nico, if you're talking about maybe rebooting, yeah, I probably will try that at some point. In a second. Let's see if this boots up. But yeah, The Last Blade, very, very stylish game. Kind of reminds me of a 2D Soul Calibur. Okay, so let's just go for a reset. Oh, okay, cool. Let's see if that works now, right? Oh, wicked! Yeah, no, yeah, nice one, Nico. I appreciate that, man. I'll add that to the folder. Awesome stuff. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, we're trying out the latest Neo Geo CD Core. It's on an unstable build of MiSTer, so not quite available on the normal MiSTer just yet. Okay, but it does come over quickly. I don't know exactly what the stable one is like because I haven't actually tried it or updated it. I was busy with work, so I didn't check everything. So let's go now to, here we go. Have we got Last Blade here? Can't even. Okay, you know what? I wouldn't mind actually trying. Where's is it Ninja Masters? No, it was Ninja Commando. I think that's in the other one. Let's go back into the other folder. I've got a soft spot for this game, man. I really, really liked it. I played it a lot on emulation, just kind of going through there and completing it. But I don't know. There's just something about this game that I like. It kind of reminds me of, like, do you remember that Master System game, the Ninja? It reminds me of the Ninja, but imagine like you just had the ultimate version of the Ninja, and this is what it would be. It's just, it is just, you know, I'm not playing this on a CRT. I don't have a CRT. I'm playing this, playing on a really good monitor with very, very low latency. But I'm not using any filters or anything. But these are the kind of games, you know, when you walked into the arcade and you saw something like this, you were blown away. Like it just, everything about it was so stylish. And you know what we always spoke about was, I'm definitely going to go on easy, you know, like stuff like American Ninja, and the blonde guy here kind of reminds me of the protagonist in American Ninja. Raina, I'm pretty sure if I run like the unprotected CHD kind of versions of the games, they'll run. I think it's just the normal CDs. They were working really, really well. So here I was like kind of trying it. Like this game is a banger, but I'll tell you what, this game is tough. And sometimes just to see how bad I am, I'll go onto YouTube and look at 1cc's, man. Like the guys that do that are amazing. And if you guys are into 1cc's and watching some of them, MiSTer Walrus, like he does a lot of them on the channel. Like yeah, he does really, really good. Really, really good. Very, very skilled guy, man. A lot of games out there he's just very, very good at. But yeah, this game is just fantastic, man. I just like absolutely love this game. This to me is, you know, this to me is arcade gaming. You know, when you go in there, you just get that thrill, you get the buzz. There's things exploding, there's rockets coming at you. Look at that, look at the way that vehicle just comes in. It just comes in and brings these henchmen, and you're just the ninja just chucking stuff there. And I really do like the dodge mechanic in this, you know. That little somersault looks really cool, and their special attacks really nice as well, where they kind of jump up and chuck their fire or whatever. The only thing is you can't change direction of where you're shooting, but then that's more like a twin stick or a spinner kind of game. You know, this one you can only shoot straight up, but your fires spread out quite a lot. Just be ready. You're gonna be spamming the fire button a lot, which is easier on an arcade stick with your I don't know how I died there, but I did. All right, let's give it a continue. I don't know how many there are in there. We'll be this ninja guy, because hey, we like ninjas here. Right, okay, let's see. Look how cool that move is. You know, some of the stuff on Neo Geo was just absolutely fantastic, and this game just, it reminds me of that. Okay, do you know what? Okay, yep, no, I love some of the arranged soundtracks, but you know what, Goldman, we are gonna let's go and try Magician Lord, because I always have I got Magician Lord? Okay, so it's not in this one. Maybe it's in this one. Hopefully it is. I really do hope it is. No. Okay, I don't actually. Oh, was it under? I wonder if it's the Magician Lord, and they've nope. Okay, so let's go back out. Nah, it's not. Okay, that kind of sucks. That's one thing to kind of put on there. This is a game I really like, but I have to change the buttons for it. This is a good beat 'em up, and I feel like the way they changed the way they changed the buttons from how the control scheme was on the original kind of World Heroes to what it became, I just really liked it. It's got like 2 punches and 2 attacks now, which is the controls of like the King of Fighters or your more traditional games. The only thing is this is one thing that always annoyed me about Neo Geo. Sometimes A was light punch, B was light kick, but then sometimes A was light punch and B was hard punch. So it was annoying because sometimes your controls would be vertical and sometimes they'll be horizontal. I know on the default setting, the controls are vertical, more vertical than horizontal, which is just kind of sucks. But I really like this game, man. Like I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Like I just wish more people played this when I was younger, because I really would have liked to play this. It is just such a great game. But I played this, you know, I played this on the SNES more than I played this on any Neo Geo. When I had the Neo Geo, I didn't have this game. I'm sorry, I'm talking about like the original World Heroes, or like maybe even like World Heroes 2. But just such a great game, man. And that's why a lot of times I enjoy playing Mugens, because Mugen kind of gives me these characters, but it gives me these characters against Street Fighter characters. Look how cool that dragon looks, man. I mean, at the time when you're watching a lot of beat 'em ups, everyone was like, it's a Street Fighter ripoff. But I feel like SNK games just had a life of their own. I wish if okay, I never meant to do that super there. I wish if I played more King of Fighters when I was young, but we were all Capcom guys. We were into the Capcom stuff, man. Oh, wicked Magician Lord. Yeah, I don't know what happens with comments sometimes, man. It's just dodge. YouTube just deletes them. It's really annoying sometimes, because I comment as well, and they just kind of disappear, man. And it's really annoying. And what's really annoying is when you do a really long one, and it just disappears. Oh, was that like an EX move there? Wow. Okay. Have you got? Look how cool that throw looks, man. What a great game, and they're just running so good on this core. Like this core pretty much is complete now. Okay, did he get him? Okay, I got you. How much damage? Didn't do that much damage. I'm actually playing on pad, so one issue that I have on pad is doing kind of specials on 2-player side. I do find it a bit tough. Okay, no, I'll get cool. Yeah, I'll definitely need to get Magician Lord, and that's something that I play. It's quite a tough game. I always I always thought to myself that it would actually be great to get Magician Lord kind of coming back as a Metroidvania. Like, I like Metroidvanias. Actually started, I didn't know what to play the other day. Like, so sometimes I take like my Steam Deck or something when I'm on night shift, and it's kind of chill, you know. If there's not a lot going on, I can do it, but I'm tired, so I start playing games, and then when I play that game later on, it just reminds me of being tired. So I try not to play too many, but if I play a 2D game, I'm good. Like, there's no issues with that. It's only the 3D games that do this to me. But I started just playing Symphony of the Night again, man. Like, just such a great game, man. Like, such an awesome game. Like, just can't get bored of it. Every so often, when I don't know what to play, I'll play that. And I really should play Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, and just actually, okay, yeah, it's been a big guy. Yeah, just want to get through Bloodstained and get the good ending, because I completed it on the Switch and it was terrible on the Switch. Yeah, if you're ever going to play that, don't play that on the Switch. If you have a Switch Lite, it'll be pretty much impossible to complete, because at one point you kind of turn into these Razer Lite, and you have to kind of bounce everywhere, and the Joy-Cons, you just haven't got the angles to be able to cut that. I tried it. I was playing it on the Switch, but I was playing it on a normal original Switch, so I actually docked it and had to do that bit on a Pro controller. And I thought to myself, if I was playing that on a Switch Lite, that's it. I would not be able to play that unless I put it in front of me on that little screen with a Pro controller to get past that part. So, but I've been playing like the Steam Deck a bit, man. The analog sticks on the Steam Deck are great. Okay, the D-pad's not that great. It's not the worst D-pad, but it's definitely better than the ROG Ally. If anyone out there is thinking about buying a ROG Ally, don't buy it. Really, don't buy it. If you want to do any retro gaming on it, don't buy it, because it's just bad. Like, the D-pad on it is crap, and the SD card just doesn't work. And that's unrelated to this, but I kind of bought that because sometimes when I'm capturing footage, it's nice to capture it on a handheld, and the ROG Ally kind of ticked all the boxes, you know, 1080p screen, 16:9 ratio, and I could have just captured stuff, you know, while in bed or wherever, just around the house, and then later on just on the voiceover when I'm in front of my laptop and whatnot. But yeah, I had to send it back. I should have listened to Phile, one of the subscribers on the channel. He sent it back, and I was like, no, I like it. But in the end, I ended up taking it back, sending it back, and just, I got new love for the Steam Deck, because even though it's underpowered compared to that, it's just such a well-made machine. Oh, okay. Guys, any requests out there? What's this? Hey, VGE! Buddy, how you doing? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if that gets ported. But if Quest 64 comes out, it'll probably be on like one of the hyper Neo Geo ones. And VGE, dude, I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been under the weather, man, but you still manage to put out like videos all the time. So just amazing. So guys, if I'm sure most of you know Video Game Esoteric. If you don't know, check out his channel. So, you know, like for example, sometimes we cover similar topics, but my one's like, hey, look how cool this is. I like this game. Well, this guy will actually tell you the science behind it, what each part does. So I actually watch his videos and learn stuff. And you know, since doing YouTube, he's a good friend of mine, man. We talk a lot, you know, because we've got the same interest, and he's a really cool guy. And hopefully he'll get his analog pocket soon as well. Haha, nice. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna dash that. I was but I was gonna be in his hand. Okay, I can't believe I actually beat that guy. Mind you, isn't it? Yo, the taco's in the house. By the way, guys, if anyone's wondering who the best Street Fighter player is, it's not the Daigo, it is Adventure Taco. Virtual, you know what? Just for the sake of it, one day I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to name the extension the same as one of the games here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to load it up. And I wonder if it does load up, because I don't know if any of you guys would kind of agree with this, but when you're kids out there and you're kind of desperate, you're trying stuff. I mean, I remember one guy, when we were playing Street Fighter, he wanted the Dreamcast stick to work on, it might have been for the Xbox 360. This might have been like the Street Fighter 4 days. So what he actually did was, he thought in order to get it to work, all he needs to do is cut the wire and join the other wire to it. You know, there's nothing else to it. And then sometimes when you're kids and you're desperate for a game to work, you kind of try stupid stuff, you know, like putting in a different format game. Like, for example, you might have wanted the game on your Amiga, but you tried the ST disc on there, and it's not going to work. But you tried it, you know, you just thought maybe it'll work. And then you'll always get the guys in school that said, hey, you know what, I got a PlayStation, or I had like the SNES and I've done this to it. And yeah, it worked. And, you know, people will end up believing it, but it's the biggest load of BS ever. I mean, what my brother done, which I thought was out of order, was he told his one of his school friends that if you put salt in the Game Boy cartridge slot, you get cheats for the games. And the guy just only went and done it. And there was a bit of beef there because, you know, the mum complained to my mum saying, your son told my son to put salt in the Game Boy. My mum apologized to that guy's mum, but really she should have said, look, if your kid is putting salt in the Game Boy after told him, you might want to send him to special school already. But yeah, that was quite funny. A bit of a bad thing to do, but hey, I guess we can laugh about it now. Just gonna go through some of the comments. Okay, no worries, VGE. I will see you soon, man. I see the dog is taking you out for a walk. All good. You know what, Goldman, virtual Hidlid, or however you say it, Hidlid, it's becoming it's become a bit of a meme, and the game looks so bad. I actually have to try it out myself, and I think maybe in this holiday season I'll make a point of checking it out, because you know it looks so bad. I feel like it's so bad it becomes good, and I get that with a lot of games. I mean, I actually enjoyed playing Superior Soldiers on the IRIM M92 core, you know, the Wicker Whackers core, and it's so bad. But hey, man, I kind of had fun playing it. It's bad. Like the main guy that looks like Captain Commando, his hurricane kick move is just terrible in that. I couldn't get that to connect like once. The Fireball and Dragon is okay though, and you know, you can do the Honda tactic on some of the guys out there. Right, let's load another game. Ultimate Warrior. Oh, you know what? Talking, yeah, that proper looks like Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I just saw someone posted a hack of Double Dragon. I've kind of got it on my list of things to check. But you can be you can be Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, but the sprites are taken from WWF Superstars, from the arcade game, you know, back from whatever, late 80s or 89 or whatever it was. So that looks fantastic. Oh, last resort. Okay, let's try this. So yeah, I kind of want to try that hack out. Oh, so Taco, is Arabian Moon a character in there? Yeah, because I'm sorry, Arabian Moon. I'm kind of thinking about that beat 'em up where these genies kind of pop out and everything, you know. But yeah, I just use Captain Commando in it, or whatever his name is, Star Savior or something like that. And I kind of went through it because I wanted to play the game myself. Nico, if you're watching, dude, yeah, thanks, man. I've got a thing on Discord. I've got my phone in front of me, but I'll check that after the stream, man. You're too kind, dude. You're too kind. Now, I remember this game in the arcade. I'm just gonna go easy mode here. Why not? Why not? I'm definitely running on fumes. That's what Night Shift kind of does, but I do really enjoy streaming. Like, I don't know, streaming is just, it feels a lot of fun. Something I would like to do more often. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I know you're talking about now. Yeah, the really, really weird one. If you position the reptile in front of her with both their standard animations, it's borderline beat 'em up porn. Oh, this game was cool, man. I remember there was an arcade machine with this game on there, man, to a bowling alley we used to go to, and that was cool. Now, feels a bit weird. It feels like you need to kind of get used to the mechanic. I'm kind of thinking, okay, so one button locks that. That's interesting. So I can just have it. Okay, cool, decent. Hey, what does that enemy remind you of? Something to do with Castlevania. Okay, so you don't just pop out straight away. So this is one of those games that when you die, it just, yes. So I guess this took a lot of inspiration from R-Type. I do like the background on this, and I can just imagine, you know, how good this will look on a CRT, man. Like, okay, that's nice. Okay, let's lock that here. Come on, I don't want to die again. Okay, I'm kind of concentrating here. So I was, we were talking about on the Discord a while ago, and it was an interesting kind of story came up, and someone said they didn't go to the arcade a lot when they were kids because the area they grew up in, I think it was in New York, it was rough, and we were kind of okay here, but we did have like our rough moments. And one of the things I spoke about on there was, so we were in the arcade. There was an arcade, if anyone's familiar with London, North London, Holloway Road. It was called Fair Play. It was a decent sized arcade. It had like a lot of machines on there. There was a lot of Street Fighter and King of Fighters comp in that place. King of Fighters, I used to watch people playing it there, but I never quite played it myself. But one of the stories in there was, before I get to the story, just going to read a couple of the comments. It does remind me of Akira. Yeah, that background is just awesome, man. Hey, Slappy McPhee, how you doing? Yeah, the D-pad was terrible, man. Like, I really wanted to like it. And the other thing I found with the ROG Ally was the analog sticks were really, really loose. Moving over from the Steam Deck, the analog sticks they just sucked, man. They were way too loose. When I was trying to play Horizon Zero Dawn on it, which ran really, really well. Like, it ran phenomenally well compared to the Steam Deck. Like, on the Steam Deck, it runs like crap. But they were just way, way too loose. But getting to this story, so someone's talking about like rough times or rough areas in the arcade. So what used to happen in this arcade, we had like this kid there. Now this kid was like maybe 7, 8, 9, wouldn't have been older than 10. And he would be in the arcade, and what would happen in the arcade let's pick another game. So what would happen in the arcade is he would go up to some of the kids that were like 14 or 15, like us, our age, yeah? And he would go and kind of try and push them off a machine. And you'd see, like, so you're playing on a machine and you'd push the kid off the machine, and as you would push the kid off, a big older guy, like a built guy, would come near, like 18, 19, and he'd be like, why are you hurting my little brother? Why are you picking on my little brother? When really, this is just a scam they used to do. The little brother used to come up and bother you. When you told him to get lost, he used to almost go crying, bring his older brother, and the older brother literally used to rob you there. Like, empty your pockets, what have you got? We didn't have phones or anything, and it was mainly money, and I guess if you had a watch or something. And this nearly happened to us, but one of my friend's older brother was in there that intervened and stopped us from being robbed. So we were kind of alright there, because, you know, I think there would have been times where we would have got robbed, but because of, I guess, the people we knew, or some of the people within our group who their older brothers were, we were kind of left alone. But it was a terrible thing to do, you know. Like, imagine you go to the arcade, you're playing a game there, a kid tries to push you off a machine, you just defend yourself by telling the kid get lost, and the kid brings like an older cousin or two that are in there just shaking you down, man. They just rob you. Terrible thing to happen, but it happened. You know what? There was some rough stuff there, man. I remember that one in the arcade specifically, because do you know what? That little kid that pushed you off the arcade machine, he was, oh, this is the weird one with a penguin, isn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna have to be the penguin. Sorry, not the penguin, the dolphin. My bad, dolphin. Yeah, that little kid. Even though he was a little kid, like, he had, like, the kid just had the evil look on his face. You know, like, you could see he was one of them guys that he was, whatever environment he was in a criminal environment. And he's probably grown up to be like a criminal. Like, there's no ifs or buts. Like, he was a scumbag kid. And I know he was just a kid, but whatever his upbringing and everything was, I mean, you know, kids are very, very impressionable. You know, if you bring them up the right way, and if you bring them up the wrong way, they turn out to be little shits. And this one, he was like a little piece of crap, you know, and the older guys were kind of using him to do this. But the kid, he didn't have a look of innocence on his face. He had a cruel look on his face, you know, the kind of guy that would rob like a grandmother and just kind of like laugh by. And there's plenty of those kids. Okay, this is gonna sound a little bit bad, but I remember, like, this is going back like a decade or so ago now. And I used to work in central London in Piccadilly Circus, and there was a place there called a Trocadero that we used to go to, and we used to play a lot of Street Fighter there, Third Strike specifically. The Third Strike scene at one point was in a Trocadero, and there was a story in the newspapers about this kid. The kid was maybe like 14 or 15, and he got stabbed and he died. And the picture they had in the newspaper of this kid was like, you know, the school, the school picture you have, you know, that portrait you have where you look like the goofy kid, you know, just innocent. And it was like innocent, life taken, young guy, you know, stabbed on a bus or wherever it was. And I was speaking to the security in this center because we were quite friendly with them. We were there every Friday. You know, I was like in maybe my mid-20s when this happened. Actually, it might have been about 20 years ago now. But I was in my mid-20s when this happened, even late 20s. And we were talking about the kid that got stabbed. And the guy said to me that kid that got stabbed was the biggest piece of crap that actually ever came to the place. And I said, like, elaborate, what do you mean? I said, you know, the kid got stabbed. He said, look, that kid used to come here. He used to spit on the security guards because in the UK, you can't really touch minors. There can be little shits. It's very, very difficult to deal with minors when they're being little shits. Like they just have too many rights. So he said, you know, we were trying to get him out. And what this kid used to do as well, he used to hang around the Trocadero. And when there were tourists, so there'd be tourists, there would be younger kids in him. He used to rob them. He used to like put his arm around them, give them a little smack and take their money and everything. So, you know, I came to the conclusion after hearing this is somebody that I know and respected. He had no reason to lie. He said, look, the kid was a piece of crap. And the reason he got stabbed is he must have messed with the wrong person, you know, or someone with a family who are bigger criminals than him. Hardened criminals. So him getting stabbed was more than likely due to him picking on the wrong person and getting done. But what you do get in the papers is, oh, this guy, you know, what a young life he lost. But okay, you know, he might have been like, he was a teenager. He was like maybe around 15 years of age, but he was going around robbing people. So I guess eventually karma caught up with him, you know, the worst possible way. So yeah, sometimes you see stuff, you know, with young people or this happened, but you don't get the full story. It's always interesting when you hear someone that's actually involved in it that can tell you a little bit more. Okay, sorry, I'm getting all the stories. Let me read some of the chat because I have to kind of look over to the left of the screen and do it. Yeah, Slappy, man, definitely there was definitely some dicey times. And MiSTer Snots. Yeah, wicked. You know what? I wasn't much of unless someone watched the video and saw my bugs there, I didn't actually actively report any. But yeah, a big shout out to everyone that was involved in this, because this called to me like I never had the Neo Geo CD. It wasn't like a system that was here much. It wasn't here that much. Maybe a few import shops had it or something. But as far as playing stuff goes, man, it just feels awesome. Like really, really good. Right, this here for me is the best baseball game ever made, and the SNES version of this it's fantastic as well. We used to play this 2 players on the SNES, and I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. Batting's definitely a lot more fun than fielding, but hey, you know, when you're playing it, you know, I guess you have to be what some people would call a giver and a receiver. Okay, right. I'm talking baseball, guys, yeah? And I remember that screen. That screen was on the SNES as well. See the screen here? If you guys ever borrowed games that weren't legally yours and you had that kind of pirate splash screen, the intro of this game always reminded me of that. And on the Amiga, that was very, very... It was prolific. You know, you always had those splash screens on there. But that is actually how the game starts, and it's how it started on the SNES as well. But yeah, this definitely feels complete. If anyone out there that's running the latest stable build, like how good is the latest stable build? I'm curious. I'm curious about it, because I think the last stable build I done was good. I'm wondering if the normal CDs are loading fast every time as well, because the last time I did try it, the normal CDs weren't working for me. I love this game, man. But it caught me out. This really... I don't know if there's a better baseball game out there. For me, this is definitely the best one. Did I get home run? No. Nice. There was actually one on the Mega Drive. Not a robot one. There was one on the Mega Drive that I liked a lot as well. He's going to catch me out, isn't he? Oh, wow. See, look at that. See, that's what Neo Geo done. They made this stuff just look so awesome. Just the normal catch, how it kind of jumps up and what it looks like. No one else really done stuff like that. Okay, that's got to be a home run, but it kind of sucks how it comes back, you know? Someone in the crowd should have caught that and maybe got that signed or something, you know? Oops. Okay, that was a... I don't know if that was a good throw or a bad ball. Yeah, the SNES version is what I played, to be honest, and I really liked it. At least in my head, I remember it being this good. I'm sure there was differences, you know, like the SNES was underpowered compared to the Neo Geo. Ah, okay, I've kind of put myself out trying to figure out the buttons. Cool, all right, let's load another game. Oh, cool, Taco. Do you know what? I just always played this 2021 with the robots and everything, man. But yeah, I never really played that one too much. Like baseball wasn't really a big thing here, you know. It was always what was it? Rounders, what we kind of played in school. That's what we played. And it was like a mini version of oh, okay. Yeah, it was a mini version of baseball. It was a lot of fun though. We did like it in school. It was definitely a lot of fun. Right, so loading a Tham show game. I wonder which one this is. Is it the RPG or is it the normal one? I always forget. No, this is one of the fighting ones. Yeah, Goldman, I definitely thought that the SNES graphics were really good. And I'm sure the Mega Drive ones were pretty on par as well. See, like growing up, I was always a SNES guy. Like I preferred the SNES over the Mega Drive. Now, when I kind of grew older and I looked back at game via emulation or anything like that, I kind of grew. I appreciated the Mega Drive more because, like, the Mega Drive definitely had more arcadey kind of games. When I was just playing something on like emulation, I can't remember what my early emulation devices were. I've been a handheld gamer for a long time because, like, for example, a lot of my friends that don't game, so when I used to go out, I used to take, like, whether it was a DS, a PSP, any kind of device out with emulation on it, and I've been a handheld gamer for a long time. It's rare when I play in front of the TV. In fact, I would say the only thing I play in front of the TV now is the MiSTer. I just absolutely love it. So when I want to play something old, and I don't play anything long on the MiSTer, so I'm not going to play like a PlayStation game and go all the way through it. It's always like, it's the arcade stuff that I mainly play. That's why a lot of stuff I haven't even put it on there. I'll just go on, I'll have a quick fix, and it will feel like the arcade. Like recently I've been enjoying Saint Dragon, one of Track 17 and Darren O's games, part of the Jalico Mega System 1. And honestly, if you play that on emulation, it just doesn't cut it. Like having it on MiSTer it literally, like, I got goosebumps playing that. It took me back to the arcade time. I still got battered, but but it was a lot of fun to play. Oh, nice one. Okay, are you gonna buy that off? Is it Ricardo Ultimate? Is it Ultimate MiSTer? He's based in Portugal, isn't he? So is it Delta Gamer? Is there an advantage of buying it from going to Portugal and buying it? Is it just because you can pick it up there? There's no customs, for example, or there's no postage, I guess. So you may save like a bit of money there. I wouldn't mind getting a second one. I'm waiting to see what kind of develops with the MiSTeX project, because if we get something decent on MiSTeX and it can run some of the cores, yeah, I'll just want to put one in the front room, you know, for the times, like occasionally, you know, when my friends come around, I don't have to bring them up to the bedroom. My wife doesn't really like that, but I end up doing it anyway. I can just have it like in the front room. The way I like setting my stuff up, I like making, okay, I've got quite a few wires in the bedroom now with the amount of stuff I got on there, but I put the wires in not to be kind of moved around. So for me to take something out, it's always a pain. You know, when you get older, you end up wanting another one just for convenience. When you're younger, you're ripping stuff up all the time, taking it around with you. You don't really care. Older, it's all about convenience. You know, for like my laptop, I'll buy a separate charger so I don't have to disconnect my main one. Okay, so MiSTer Snart, I'm not quite sure about it. I don't know them well enough to know, but I would imagine that they're more accurate on the Neo Geo CD. You know, just using kind of what I think would be correct. But again, there's no science behind that. Nice. I'm thinking about ordering the little the Neo Geo CD pads that I was waiting for a while, so they're available on Amazon USA, but they weren't on Amazon UK. But they're on AliExpress now. The only thing is they're quite expensive. They're like £35 delivered. So I'm wondering whether I should hold out and wait for the Neo Geo CD pads to come out on Amazon over here, and I can just order it, you know, with Prime next day delivery and everything. So I'm kind of torn because I want to get it. I want to do a review on it because I don't like the Neo Geo Pocket. I love the console. I can't play fighting sticks on that little nub. I find it horrible. Like my cousin's got a few Neo Geo Pockets, so when we go around there, we actually link up like our Game Boys and our Neo Geo, well, his Neo Geo Pockets. He actually offered to sell me a modded one at cost. You know, it was really, really cheap. A modded one, modded screen. I think all in it was like £120, but I really don't like the little nub on it for fighting games. Like when I'm trying to move it down back, I always end up just moving it down. I end up eating combos when me and him are playing. So, but I'm still interested in that pad. Not something I'll play fighting games on, but I might experience other games on there and I might think those are okay. I think it's a pad worth picking up. I'm just wondering whether to pre-order it from AliExpress or wait until Amazon get one. If I pre-order it from AliExpress, I may get it sooner. But again, with the delay, sometimes actually when I'm ordering stuff from AliExpress, the Sega Saturn pad I ordered arrived within a week, so that was quick. So I'm not sure if I'll get that quicker ordering it from AliExpress or getting it from Amazon. But I'm kind of undecided at the moment because it's still a couple of weeks before it launches. Okay, Shane, that fair point. Maybe. Again, not something I know. And, you know, I prefer not to make a comment on something and just look like a dumbass because I don't know what I'm talking about. But if someone else has got science in there, there's always usually someone in chat that has got the science and will always come with, nope, this is how it worked. And if you're there, then pop in and say hello. Right, let's have a blast at this. Do you know one thing about this? I've got to go with however the buttons are. And guys, if any of you guys have a Switch, you know the Samurai Showdown, is it Anthology or the Collection or whatever it is? Man, it's really, really good on the Switch. It's bare bones. It's just got the arcade versions, but it does use rollback netcode. So if you want to play something on your Switch, you want to fight her on the Switch, because I use the Hori left Joy-Con, which has a decent D-pad. Yeah, it's really, really good. In fact, I actually bought a copy for my friend, but I've never got around, haven't gotten around to playing him yet. But a lot of the Neo Geo stuff, like even Garu, Mark of the Wolves on the PS Vita, damn, the netcode is good for that. Like, and I say this because I like playing a lot of stuff in handheld. So I'll play like a fighter, like on a handheld. I tried playing Street Fighter 6 on the Steam Deck, but the D-pad, I can't do it. So that it remains exclusively on pad, same as like Super Turbo or some of the other games. In fact, that's when I do game in front of the TV is Street Fighter. To play it competitively, yeah, I have to have an arcade stick. Hey, Marcelo, how you doing, bud? Oh, really? All right, you know what? Marcelo, I'm gonna order that. I'm gonna order that after this stream then. You know what? Forget if I get it before. I think it'll make a good video doing like a review of it as well. The videos of the controllers kind of seem to do well. They don't make back the money that I pay for the controller. I usually, like on a popular video like that, I might make like £5 back. So I guess that's like 13% of the total back. But hey, you just never know. Yeah, no, I gathered you meant your pre-order. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I like Jubei in this game, man. Okay, yeah, controls are definitely not the way I like them, but hey, we're checking it out. Like, so Samurai Showdown was just, man, like what a game. Like I remember seeing this, and in fact, for some of my work for college, I think I reviewed Samurai Showdown 2. Kind of like talking about how you've got pets in it and how good it looks when it zooms in and out. But if I remember correctly, I think I just kind of copied stuff from a computer games review. But hey, we didn't have all, you know, teachers didn't have tools to know you were plagiarizing then. So I think I got a good grade for it, but I did cheat. Yeah, Sam Showa. I wish if I knew how to play the games. But they're very, very interesting. Instead of being like crazy combo heavy, you know, you can like do lots of stuff and then someone will just give you like one swipe and okay, that's a parry. They'll just give you one swipe and that's it. It'll destroy like 3/4 of your energy bar. I don't know if this is one of the good ones. I mean, the one that I really liked was Sam Show 2. Really liked that one. I don't know what people think of Sam Show Special. That was the Sam Show 5 Special. I liked it. I don't know what it's considered like. Oh, yeah, Shane, the controller I'm using now. Do you know what? I really like that the 8-bit do Ultimate USB Type-C. It's got like a SNES style D-pad on this. It's not the best of D-pads. The D-pad for fighting games is better on the M30, but because it kind of has the 4 face buttons, I end up having this plugged in. I've got multiples plugged in, but I end up using this. It's just, I don't think it's that great for fighting games. So yeah, it's the USB 8-bit do, sorry, RF. It's the RF version I've got. I really do like 8-bit those RF controllers. I've got like, I think like maybe 4 altogether now. I've got the arcade stick. I know I've got 5. 2 M30s, the white and the black. The PC Engine one, and this Ultimate. It's the cheap USB-C one. Yeah, the one that's like £25. It comes without like the dock. But to be honest, I wouldn't use the dock, and it doesn't have the back buttons. And call me old school, I just don't like using those old buttons, man. I don't like using them. I can see what the advantage of using those are, honestly, but I don't know. Maybe I could get used to them at some point. But I ended up hitting. I end up hitting them in error sometime. But I'm a big fan of like 8-bit dough pads, man. They've come a long way. Like I remember when they first came on the scene, a lot of their pads were terrible. But ever since they kind of done that M30 pad, the PC Engine pad, I've got one as well. It's like, I don't even know what it's called. It's a Bluetooth one. I've left it at work. If I ever want to play like a modern PC game or something, if I'm shooting like a video at work, just in case my boss is watching, which he does sometimes. Boss, it's in between my workload when it's done, and I know you're cool with it. So yeah, I'll keep that one there. But I'm a big fan of like the 8-bit do controllers, and that's one of the reasons I kind of want to buy that Neo Geo one, even though I'm not really into those circular sticks. But it's RF, it's Bluetooth, it runs wired, and yeah, man, like why not get that controller? Okay, so super dimensional. Yeah, you need to give it your own folder. Yeah, why not in their own folder? Yeah, that's, you know what, the way you've put it at the bottom, Neo Geo -CD. That's exactly how I've named it. Are you sure you've not put it in the Neo Geo folder? You've put another folder in there. It needs to be in the same location within your game. So you'll have your Neo Geo folder, and underneath that, or whatever, however you've got it later. Set out, you'll have like the Neo Geo -CD one. Yeah, I haven't got any issues. They're working for me. I done it. I can't remember what it was, so I done it, and I got the error message up there saying that folder's missing, and I created that folder in it, and it just kind of worked. What's this game here? Let's have a look. Yeah, I need to do that on my stable build as well at some point. Marcelo, you know what? I don't know too much of what's new in here. You know what? First bit of time I've had for a while, and I was like, okay, I can kind of stream, and I just went onto the MiSTer Discord, had a look at the latest unstables that were available. Now I was kind of torn because I was thinking about doing a Sega Saturn stream, but I've already covered the latest Sega Saturn Core. I'm pretty sure I have anyway, because that was updated exactly a month ago, or at least that the last compiled version was. So hopefully we'll get another one, and I can do a Sega Saturn one at some do a Saturn stream. But as this was newer, I'll put it on there. But it's loading like the CDs like at full-time speed, whereas previously when I tried it a month ago, it was crashing for me. So, and like Nico says, fixing a lot of bugs, and I think there's some game specific ones. There might have been some games that were hanging and not kind of playing, and maybe those are playing now. Yeah, okay, Super Dimensional. I honestly don't know. Have you got your games unzipped? I don't know how it works, unless I don't know if it's fully required or not. But have you made sure you put all the BIOS files in there? I've got like 2 in there. I've probably got more than 2, but the 2 that I use in there's like, I've got original and I've got the UniBIOS in there. Maybe put those in those folder as well. Maybe go into the Neo Geo folder, take the BIOSes out, and then that you were using previously, and put those in there. That's what I done anyway. I just copied all the BIOSes that were in the Neo Geo folder, and I pasted them in the Neo Geo CD folder. So, that's what I've done. But I am quite messy with my stuff because it doesn't take up much space. I don't see it once I kind of put it in there. Yeah, if I could see it, I'd be OCD and delete a lot of stuff. But I probably have more stuff, or sometimes I'll just name calls like old. I put old at the end of it so it doesn't work in case I ever want to revert. It's very rare that I revert to an older version of the core, but I just end up leaving it in there anyway. Oh, okay, nice. Shoot, high pass. Okay, so shoot, low pass, short pass. Okay, cool. Okay, this is quite right. Some games that you play, they have it down as United Kingdom, but in football, it's kind of broken down into England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Okay, see, good advice there from Toaster, man. Like, update all is your friend. I need to run that as well, man. Oh, wicked, Nico. No, we'll do, definitely, man. And I love my bro. Always appreciate your help and your videos and everything, man. I'll catch up with you soon, man. And I'll check your Discord messages after, and I'll give you a shout after the stream, bro. Much appreciated. First thing after the stream, though, I need to order that pad. I've got too many pads now, man. I've got way too many. I think I'm gonna give my kid. I bought I don't know what they do with pads, man. My kids, like the analog sticks, like they melt. I don't know if they eat them or what these guys are doing, but they've taken all my Xbox One controllers. So I bought an Xbox Series controller. It was cheap, and it's actually a really good controller. But I'm quite happy using like the 8-bit ones, the Ultimate USB-C. It's just easy to use, you know, like you just kind of plug in the dongle and bang, you're away. And I'm a PC gamer. In fact, I'm really glad that I've not had to buy like a new console. And my kids, they're with the exception of the Switches, I'm moving them over to PCs. So it's just my youngest one doesn't have a PC at the moment. But when I do upgrade, I'll give him my current laptop. And the reason that I want to go to PC is because most of the games are kind of available, barring a few kind of PlayStation exclusives. Any of the Xbox games come to PC, and they're Xbox guys. My middle son, he's an Xbox guy, you know. So the Game Pass subscription, I think, runs out May 2024. So I've told him, look, son, start using your PC. And he does. He plays Minecraft on there and Titanfall 2. But I just don't want to pay subscription charges. Like Game Pass, even though I got it cheap, I think I got it for like maybe £4 a month, or it was very, very cheap. Can't remember. I had to like buy lots of month subscriptions and go and put them in there. But I want to get them on PCs because, hey, do you know what? When something goes wrong at a young age, I want them troubleshooting stuff on PC. So, hey, they know their way around the PC because, you know, if you're using console, you don't actually learn a great deal. So that's the plan anyway. It might change because, you know, as they get a little bit older, they might be like, Dad, I want to get a PS5 to play with all my buddies. But they're always going to have a PC. Always. A PC is a must. But at least I think for now on their Xbox, I'll give them the Series controller. I bought them a wired controller, but I hate that wire just going along the whole front room. I feel like they're going to smash something, you know, they're going to get it out. Their Xbox One's going to be flying out and it's just going to whack something. This isn't such a bad game, you know. There's obviously, like with a lot of these sports games, there's a learning curve to it, but the controls are responsive. I like the way he says, oh, that's quite cool. Hey, pass it to me, puts his hand up. Not, fouled him. Fake! Stop faking it! Toaster, you know what? I've just got too many, man. I've just got a box. I even bought some cheap wire. I don't even know why I bought them. I mean, I'm kind of glad I did, because, you know, they kind of come in handy. I bought like a couple of cheap wired ones, and then I bought, they were reduced, man. They were third-party ones, but they weren't too bad. They were like for the Switch and the Xbox, but they were reduced from like £15 to £5, and I thought, let me get them. So I've given the kids one of the wired ones, and I gave my brother one for the Switch. Ah, come on! I thought I was going to score there. That's actually quite interesting because at half time you changed the direction you're shooting. Unless I was shooting in the wrong direction. for the entire first half, which I would not put it past me. I am the Leroy Jenkins. If anyone knows, does anyone remember Leroy Jenkins? Because that was one of the earliest internet kind of meme things that I can recall, you know. Okay, that definitely felt like a foul. Yeah, Shane, no, definitely. Oh man, I think I killed him. Yo, Webby, how you doing, man? Yeah, smartphones is a lot. Like my kids don't have a smartphone. My daughter, who's 15, she has a smartphone, but she was given a smartphone when she started secondary school. I guess what some countries call high school, and it was more for safety. You know, we've got an app on there. It's called Life 360. I recommend you guys like check that app. It's really, really good. So I'm on it. My wife and my daughter are on there, and we can look at our location at all times. I haven't got anything to hide with my wife. I don't do anything dodgy. So, you know, I go to work, wherever I go. In fact, my wife tells me sometimes, like, go out and visit some of your friends. So she's cool. But we've got them on there, and we've got our daughter in there. And you can put checkpoints on the app. So I've got a checkpoint. When she reaches school, it'll say, daughter has reached school. When she leaves school, it says, daughter has left school, daughter has arrived home. And that happens for all of us as well. So it's just really good, because sometimes I'm at work, and you know, I'll get that notification, and just for peace of mind, I'm like, cool, my daughter has reached school. But she's got a mobile phone because it was an essential safety thing, but we kind of limit the use of it. She's older now, so hey, you can't, you know, you got to let them have some freedom, and she'll like WhatsApp her friends and do whatever, but there's not too much. And the same with the boys. Once they go secondary school, it's more a tool for their safety. I remember one time my daughter got detention, and I called the school and I said, look, you haven't told us she's getting detention. What's the reason? They said, no, she hasn't got detention. She must be home. Well, I said, I've just checked her phone, and you know, we've got tracking software on there, and it says she's in school, and she's actually around this part of the school. It's accurate to around 10 meters, I would say. So they then went and found her and gave me the reason for the detention, which kind of sucked because it was a class detention. They kept the whole class behind. Oh, nice one. So Toaster, was that from AliExpress? Your dispatch notification. Oh, you know what, Marcelo, Leroy Jenkins is epic, man. Like when I saw that one, I was like, you know what, this is wicked. I'm not a Warcraft player by any means. Like, that's just not me. Like, I can't play a game that sucks up that much of my life. I say that, but I spent like 2,000 hours playing like Monster Hunter games, you know. I think Monster Hunter 4U I done 800 hours on. Absolutely love the game. Played nothing else for an entire year apart from Monster Hunter 4U. And Monster Hunter World, I'd say around 2,000 hours, man. I didn't really play any games apart from that. That was what I played. Like, but I played so much of it. Like, I put it on the Steam Deck now, and it runs very, very well at 40 hertz. You know, someone said you can get it at 60 hertz as well, but the 40 hertz version works well. But I've played it so much, like just turning that game on, it makes me want to turn it off. Like, I've just done too much of it. I'm hoping the new one comes out and I can get into that again, because like Monster, I always say, like, my three favorite game franchises are, and not in any particular order, is Street Fighter, Castlevania, and Monster Hunter. I actually bought Monster Hunter for the kids as well, so sometimes I go and I help them on quests as well, because they're like young hunters in that one. I know this is an interesting shmup, you know, like split screen with two players, which kind of works, because let's face it, when you've got the vertical shmups, you're using a tiny part of the screen. Most of the screen you're not using. So very interesting that someone's done it like this. Don't fully kind of understand it. I think I saw this on Video Game Esoterica's channel. I didn't really know much about this game, and I was like, okay, cool. This is one I have to check out. I'm not sure if he was actually playing this on the Saturn though. It might have been on the Saturn he was playing it. I could be wrong. Could have it confused there. There's a lot of information to intake, and I often do get my stuff wrong, or maybe it was on Neo Geo CD Core, but I saw it then. It kind of looked interesting. But yeah, cool stuff. All right, guys, does anyone want to see anything else? Also, Shane, do you know what? Ooh, that's a tough one, you know, because like where I'm off next week, I've said to the kids, like they've never been involved in my YouTube, but I think for Simpsons, if it does come out next Friday, then what I might do is I might actually do a 4-player stream on the MiSTer with them playing it as well. So it's tough, man. I don't know. I'm happy with both whenever they come. Simpsons, I know it's coming first. I'm happy with that. The Neo Geo Pocket would just be nice, but I'm gonna play that on the Analog Pocket. Like, I'm not, you know, I love the MiSTer, I love the Analog Pocket. They both have their use cases. I mean, the Analog Pocket is a great device. I mean, just to have all that stuff in your pocket. The main thing that lets it down is the fact that it had a D-pad on it. Just isn't great. If you're trying to play fighting games or shmups, like you can't do, like, you know, these kind of circular motions that you okay, I'm not doing a good job here, but you know, when you do like those small circular motions, you can't do them on the Analog Pocket D-pad. It's always, Analog Pocket is like that. If you want to do a circle, it's like that. But see, over here, I can navigate around, and not exactly a round ball, but kind of like more like an octagonal shaped one. But on Analog Pocket, you're trying to do a circle, it's more like a square. So that's the big downside of it. I mean, I can play some Street Fighter games on there, but jumping, so if I'm one player, jumping forward is always a mission for me to do. But I can do fireballs, dragons, not as accurately as I can on, say, like a PlayStation Vita D-pad or something. So, you know, it's what, in my opinion, what stops the Analog Pocket from being perfect. But it'd be nice to play the Neo Geo Pocket stuff on there. Hopefully the fighting games will be okay on there. But what will be interesting is playing those games on a fighting stick on a MiSTer as well. That really will be interesting. Right, let's guys, anyone want to see anything else? Okay, so Brian, CPS3, it's going to take a while. We're probably not going to hear too much about it. And I don't put it in the weekly news videos because, you know, what we're going to put down that not much is happening. Maybe it's worth doing just to say, look, development's still going on, but remember, like, it's a long-winded one. I remember Hotego saying a little while back that they've had a discussion with the higher tier of his patrons, like the directors, and I can't remember what exactly each rank is, what each rank is called, like directors or producers. They got different ranks or different titles, and they've come with a decision, but it's going to kind of take 18 months. So, you know, we might see it in 2024. I can't remember when I started the timer, but we might see it in 2024. We might even see it in 2025. But for me, the important thing is it's coming out, and that's, you know, one of the reasons that got me into the MiSTer. Like I always say, if anyone ever asks, I've said it in my video plenty of times as well, anytime that the main thing that got me to buy the MiSTer, because I was kind of alright with software emulation. I was using RetroArch with RunAhead. A lot of stuff I use, I was quite happy like playing on that, because a lot of games I'm not going to notice too much if I haven't played them in the arcade. I mean, the main thing with the MiSTer that I notice is the responsiveness. The responsiveness is just, wow, it's instant. RunAhead on RetroArch does like a great job, but the MiSTer's it's just something else. It's just something else. So to play Super Turbo, when I played it on the MiSTer around my friend's house, like I have never ever played Super Turbo that I felt was accurate to the arcade version of it. Like it was banging. I was like, wow, I have to get one. It's cheaper than buying the A board, the B board, converting it. You know, if I want it to run HDMI, if not, I've got to keep an old TV around, which I don't have the space for. The cost of it, the MiSTer just proved like such a great solution, and everything else I got apart from Super Turbo is a bonus. So one of the things that I had in my head as well was hopefully CPS3 will come for it. So the first thing I did when I got my MiSTer, I signed up for Hotego's Patreon, and yeah, man, and I was so chuffed when the CPS3 vote was done. And you know, it won. Most people voted for that over PGM. So whenever that comes, it will come, and it will just be nice to have, because I've got a whole bunch of guys that I met over Third Strike, and it'll be nice to have that. And I think by that point, hopefully, I'll have a second MiSTer, because I would like one that I can just carry around. You know, literally, I can just take it with me, and when I'm going out to my friend's house, so hopefully they'll have a decent HDMI TV. with low latency. That would really make it awesome. And I can take it out, and I've got Arcade Perfect CPS 3. Yeah, Brian. Okay, I got into the MiSTer round. Okay, yeah, that's one of the things that's definitely playing Super Turbo on there, because like, so when we played Street Fighter as kids, so we saw Street Fighter in the arcade. I started on Street Fighter 1 and I loved the game. The big sprites, we played it a lot in the arcade. It was all about playing a computer. It wasn't about playing two-player. So when Street Fighter 2 came out, that was just, it was revolutionary, you know. It was the biggest thing of its day. Like the next generation, I'll tell them it was the Pokemon of its day, you know. As popular as Pokemon was, maybe even more popular. And oh, I kind of lost my trail of thought there. That's the night shift kind of stuff kicking in. This is where usually I'm like, hey, what the hell was I talking about? But yeah, so sorry. Yes, CPS 2. Yeah, that's what made me get the MiSTer anyway. I really have just lost my trail of thought. Sorry about that, guys. Like I did say earlier on at the beginning of the chat, I was on night shift yesterday. Okay, yeah, so 2 MiSTer, the second one from Retro Castle, exactly for that reason, carrying it around. Yeah, it would be nice, because do you know what? My friend, I've got a friend, and when I had the game shop, like, the guy was cool. Like, he came in there as a customer, and we ended up being friends. And this guy's got like OCD, so he actually used to tidy up my shop and do everything. It was like free labor, but we ended up becoming friends. And you know, he's got a couple of daughters now around the same age as my boy, is a couple of years younger. So when I go around there, he has no computers, but this guy is so good at old Street Fighter. He cannot combo, but just his zoning and poking is so good. It's an absolute like pleasure to play him. But I end up taking like my laptop or something down there. We end up playing stuff with emulation. But to have like a MiSTer that I can just carry around, I've got the analog pocket. I can take a dock and that around, but I just find the analog pocket isn't really made for that. At least how I kind of see it. Oh, sorry, that's what I was saying. So there was different things of competition. So we had like Street Fighter 2. That's where the competition started. You ended up getting it on a SNES, and that's where you kind of done it. And then you kind of took a break. And as you got older, the party days started. There was a long period of time where I completely stopped playing games, you know. I think the only thing we played was the Nintendo 64, GoldenEye and Mario Kart around my friend's house when we were, you know, chilling there, getting smoked or whatever. And we didn't play for a long time. When I had my game shop, we were all talking about Street Fighter and how we were all the best. And the only game we had in the shop at the time that was current, the Street Fighter game we had, was Capcom vs SNK 2. And that's how I got into Capcom vs SNK 2. We started playing it and we really got into it. And there's a whole story about like one of my best friends, comes on the channel sometimes, but he's a guy that likes to keep himself to himself. I like him coming on for podcasts because we've just got a real good energy between us. But he kind of came to my shop, challenged me. I kind of beat him the first time, but made him play on pad. Then he came back, introduced me to roll cancelling, and OCV'd me, which means one character victory. He beat me with a Sakura, and he kind of told me about the competitive circle. He told me about players like Ryan Hart, Justin Won, Daigo, and Ryan Hart was kind of local to us, and we played him at quite a few events. Ryan Hart's a cool guy, really nice guy, and that was CVS2. And Third Strike I kind of got into because when I got into CVS2 again, no one was playing it, and the only game in the UK that had competition in the arcade was Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And I've got to be honest, when I first played that game, I thought it was crap. Like, I played it and I thought, why is it so slow? You know, when you're doing like your normal combos that you know from Street Fighter, they just felt wrong. But man, once I got into that game, like, my two favorite Street Fighter games as of now are Third Strike and Super Turbo. I do like Hyper Fighting as well. To be honest, I even like all the Street Fighter 2 games I like, but Super Turbo and Third Strike's amazing. Even to this day, there's just so much depth to it. Still played in Japan, loved around the world. Probably the most popular, the second most popular game on Fightcade. So a lot of people are playing it. Sorry, Marcel, I'm just going to read your comment on there. Yeah, the load times are bad on the normal CD version. I think Video Game Esoterica was actually referencing that in one of his videos, and I think he might have done a comparison of the one-time speed and the full-time speed, but it's made a lot playable because it between rounds, I think between rounds it loads and everything. So that was just kind of sucky. So the characters that I know in King of Fighters are characters that I played in in Capcom vs SNK 2, so that's how I kind of learned them. Maya was one of my, you know, backup characters I used to like using on that. Yeah, that's the, oh, you know what, Shane, that's awesome. I was thinking about when I got my new monitor, I've got the old TV VESA mount behind there, but I was actually thinking, shall I replace it and get something where I can put it in Tate mode? I didn't end up doing it because it would just involve me taking that mount off, filling the holes on the wall, and then putting a new mount on. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll play like that. I don't you know, play loads and loads anyway. My time will come, you know, when my kids get older and I'm an old granddad, I'll end up retiring and doing that stuff. Yeah, I really do like King of Fighters 98. I think this is one of the popular ones as well. I've got like this cousin, man. He's amazing at the King of Fighter games. The way he does combos and everything, it's really weird how he does it. But the guy is just very, very good. You know, one of them guys that when he went to the arcade, he'd kind of mash everyone up. Okay, so let's see how bearable the kind of loading screens are here. Okay, there is a little bit of time, but man, like I can imagine how bad that would have been. Imagine like you're playing against someone else and there's heated battles, man. You've got enough time to kind of lose your anger and just, you know, forget about it. Yeah, definitely. I wish I played more SNK games, man. But guys, like, what is your favorite anime? My always bouncing. To be honest, Wabby. When I read my next to it, I thought I was reading Wobbly. I'm sitting a bit of a distance away from it. But hey, that's just me and my crazy mind. But yeah, definitely some wobble jobble there. Yeah, so guys, what's like your favorite SNK fighting game? I always get corrected. I kind of call them beat 'em ups. Even though I know they're kind of referred to as fighting games. I think just at one point we kind of called them beat 'em ups and that just kind of stuck. But if I had to pick one that I like more than anything else, I have to say it'll be Garu Mark of the Wolves. And that's the one that I like, man. I really do like that game. Wow, imagine that, Marcelo. 30 seconds, dude. That's free. That's a minute and a half of loading, man. That almost makes King of Fighters into a turn-based game. You know, it's like, yeah, wow, like a KOF RPG. You know, that's what we are. That's what we're getting now. Okay, did I change the order? I can't remember. I was just mashing it and pressing moves there. Iori, man, there were some really good Ioris in Capcom vs SNK. So I think there was a guy called Bucktooth that used to play. I don't know if anyone remembers. Like, the internet was kind of new then, and I remember like my friend who introduced me to, like, you know, the fighting game circuit in the UK, and I guess like shoryuken.com and everything else. He had these Evo DVDs, man, and man, wow, they were so good. He had like Daigo, Justin Wong, who else was it? Margot, Bucktooth, man, John Choi. John Choi was like one of my favorite people to watch, man. Like seeing him taking on like the Japanese, amazing stuff. And you know what? Those guys, they were sharp then. You know, like they didn't drop a combo. Like now these guys, they're old. You know, they drop combos. Okay, and that's one thing about King of Fighters as well. The timer was so quick. It's one of them games that encourage you to fight instead of turtling around. Yeah, do you know what, Marcelo? I kind of like real bout. I don't like the thing. I'm not a big fan of is that plane shifting stuff. I know it's a mechanic of the game. I'm just not a big fan of it. And when I had my actual Neo Geo, I had one of the Fatal Fury games on there. I don't know if it was the first Fatal Fury. It wasn't a real bout. Maybe it was Fatal Fury 2. You know, I kind of checked the... yeah, I used it, kind of got used to it. I'm sure if I played it, I'd get more used to it. There's one of my friends, when he does come around, we end up like playing the MiSTer, and he like really knows his SNK stuff. And that's my buddy Harmonaz, man. Really good third strike player, but he really knows SNK stuff. Like he'll tell me, oh, the move the person has in this game is from this game. You know, it's not from this game. That's why, you know, if you're playing this version of King of Fighters, their moves are the same as they are in Art of Fighting, for example. But in later versions, they've kind of streamlined. They've made the moves a little bit more streamlined, so they kind of seem familiar to how they are in other games. But yeah, he's got very good memory. He remembers all that stuff, you know. Okay, let's get something else, man. Let's try something else. So which folder are we in? Okay, so we're in the normal CD. Let's go normal back, and hopefully some other stuff will work. Do you know what? I did like Double Dragon. I didn't really play that, but I think it's a good beat 'em up. There was another one that came out later called Rage of the Dragons. Now, yeah, I was a fan of that, man, but I didn't quite understand like the system, and I only ever played it against the computer, and the computer just battered me on that. No, I get that, Marcelo. I completely get that. It's a difficult choice, because if someone said to me, like, you know, what would you rather play? Would you rather play Third Strike or Super Turbo? Like, I like both of the games. Like, I like all of them, you know. I like Capcom vs SNK 2 as one of the games, so it's difficult to pick one. I'm not the biggest fan of the Alpha games. I played them a little bit, but they didn't do it for me. I mean, I like the art style, I like how they look. There's a lot of stuff I do like about the Alpha games, but I think the ones that stuck were those. What I can't play though, and I'm sure many of you guys can, is I can't do the superhero games. I can't do the Marvel versus Capcom. I just can't do that stuff that when you knock them down, you kind of hit them up again and they bounce up and they fly out of the screen all the way to the top right and everything. And you keep attacking them and you keep doing stuff, and then you tag. I don't know, I never played those as a kid. So when I try and play it now, I just find the amount of stuff you can do in there overwhelming. But a lot of people say, you know, once you kind of understand it, it is quite simple doing that stuff. But hey, man, even in newer games, I'm all about the 3 to 4 hit combo, man. That's it. I've never really done like massive combos, you know, unless it's obviously a character that has like a custom combo bar or something, and I can use that. Okay, so I'm gonna go with one of the. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna have to go this guy. Okay, so down up charge. Okay, so that's nice. So okay, cool. I'm glad this got the moves there. So this is like your Guile guy, but he reminds me of the ninja from Shadow Dancer. That's why I was attracted to that straight away. Yeah, on our loading times are awesome, man. And this is like one of the CD versions I'm running on it. Okay, wow, that move was long. Look at. Wow, okay, so that is some range. Right, he's done 2 fireballs there. Look at that. Okay. And I think that was the light version I done. Oh wow, okay, so is that come on, jump in. I want to try that move out. Okay, that's weird, because I never quite got into this game, but I like how it looks and it feels quite decent as well. Yeah, definitely a cool looking character there. I'm on. It's nice. And guys, you know, like, don't ever be shy to play some of the Mugens, man. Like, they're definitely guilty pleasures of mine. There's a really good one, but it's done on that Ikemen engine, I think, and that's that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TMNT X Justice League. Like, fantastic game. Like, really good games. The developer of that is a really cool guy as well. Like, I speak to him sometimes. But that's really good. But then you've got a lot of unbalanced Mugens out there as well, which are fantastic. Wow. Yeah, so there's one called Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 Deluxe Edition. Like, well, it's got easily over 100 characters from all different games, and it's got like hidden menus where you can be the cars out of the bonus stage. Now, I don't know how the car's going to sting you unless we're looking at the prices of today. If we're looking at fuel prices, maybe that's how it's going. Maybe it's going to destroy your pocket or something, you know. But yeah, they're a lot of fun, but only to play one player, with the exception of TMNT X Justice League. That's just a good balanced game, man. They've had tournaments at events like Combo Breaker there as well. Trying to see if I could do a special. Nice, he's doing a nice little combo there. Okay, let's guys, any suggestions for anything you guys would like to see? Just get them in, man. I'll load it up and give it a shot. This Ghost Pilots, I'm not sure. Okay, this is a good game. I think I've tested this. I don't think we played this on the stream. I started Double Dragon with the stream, but I wasn't playing it. I guess it was eye candy, the demo running. I also hope, like, I know a lot of people that like the MiSTer, they dislike the Analog Pocket. Like, I have love for both the devices. I like the Analog Pocket a lot, and I really do hope that we do get a Neo Geo CD Core for it. Someone ports it over at some point. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to have that on there. You know, something like Samurai Showdown on the go would be really nice. We know the price of reason is translating that, so that's something I'm so looking forward to when that actually when that actually happens, man. If you guys haven't if anyone's on if anyone follows me over on Twitter, if you check the people that follow the price of reason, he's working on the Sam Show translation, man, and it looks like it's something that's going to take place soon. So really looking forward to that. There's also been some really good Dreamcast translations. I think recently there was the rhythm action game called Happy Toon Town or Toon Town. Forgive me for not remembering the name, but I think it's Derek Pacella. He done that the Samurai Showdown visual novel featuring Nakaruru. He done the translation of that. That's definitely worth checking out if you're into visual novels and you're into Samurai Showdown. Then definitely check that out. You know, good story. I mean, I didn't play it all the way through. I don't play many games all the way through, but I did test it out for the video. I played a bit of it, and yeah, man, it's good. It's a good graphic novel. So Dreamcast has been actually getting a lot of love. They actually released a Daytona, I think Daytona USA, with online capability, so you can take your Dreamcast online in 2023, man. That's amazing. I mean, the Dreamcast was ahead of its time. What a console. I think the only thing, at least over here in the UK, that sucked about it was just 50 hertz. And from what I remember, you couldn't even run it at 60 hertz. If I'm wrong about that, then let me know in the comments. Maybe it was just me playing it on an RF TV at the time, or I don't remember having like a 60 hertz option on there. But again, I could be wrong. From what I recall, the UK ones, the ones sold in the UK, were power only. So that kind of sucked, because there were some great fighting games on there, and you're just playing them. You're playing them at 50 hertz instead of 60 hertz. So, like, terrible. So, you know, the best Dreamcast would be an American or a Japanese one. I really hope a Dreamcast core does come in the future for like a more powerful FPGA. I know Electron Ash he's working hard on setting the groundwork for that. So hopefully it becomes like a bigger project, and it's something that we see surface. It sees the light there. It'll be lovely to get it a more powerful FPGA that can do the Dreamcast, and hopefully with that it'll bring us some other more powerful machines, and you know what, even more powerful arcade machines. Who knows? I'm not a developer. I know there's a lot of work involved in there, and all that stuff will be more difficult to bring across than what's around. But from what I remember, I've only been involved, or around, I wouldn't even say involved, but around the MiSTer scene or the FPGA scene for about a year. But people that I've spoken to said that, you know, when talk was around for the Saturn and the PlayStation, it was like, oh, that can never ever be done, and that happened. So, you know, I wouldn't want to rule anything out. Yeah, one thing I always like about good shmups is, man, like good bosses, and there's a lot of tanks with multiple firing devices attached on there. And the Switch is becoming a good place as well for shmups, man. There's some good ones on there that play really well. I think there was the Race Storm Chronology, and Batsugan was released for it as well. The Saturn Tribute. There's a whole bunch of decent games. What else is coming out for it? I think I just read, no, Radiant Silvergun, I think it's out for it already. Oh, there you go. Thanks, man. Wobbly cool tune. There we go. Thank you for that. The only thing is, I wouldn't play cool tune now because Dreamcast emulation for me, even at its best, is laggy, and you can't play a rhythm action game with latency there. You need to have something. You need to have like a proper something proper to play on, either original hardware, or I guess if we get what's this one here? Okay, if we get like an FPGA implementation years from now, but at least on emulation, like, don't get me wrong, there's some games I can play with a little bit of latency. That's fine. I adjust to latency better than a lot of other people I know. Like one of my closest friends, he can't adjust to latency, and when we used to go to like events, he could only play one game at the event. Like, he could not adjust from one fighting game to another. He'll keep trying. You know, if he went from Street Fighter 4, say, to if he went from Street Fighter 4 to Super Turbo, then he would be trying to do a FADC in Super Turbo. You know, so he can't. Right now, he's enjoying Street Fighter 6, so he's not going to be. He will not play anything else. That is all the guy will play for now. But guys, let me know in the comments if you want to see any of the games. Oh, I've been at it for an hour and a half now, so the max I'm going to do is like 2 hours. You know, 2 hours I think will be okay. So this isn't, at least it's not working on here. Do you know what? Let's see. So let's go to 3 and let's do a reset just to see if it kind of works. I think it was Nico saying try adjusting the speed a bit or anything. It's probably not going to work, but I'll try it anyway, because full speed has been dandy for me. I've definitely heard people speaking over the Discord that reducing speed makes some stuff works, but I think this might just have something to do with the protection. Let me see if I can. So, if we go to CD here, let's go to reset and apply and just see if it does actually work on the full speed. Just doing a little bit of experimentation now. But guys, if you do want to see a game, then yeah, just mention it in the comments and we can check it. Hopefully, I'm hoping we get an update for the Sega Saturn core, because hey, like the Saturn core getting an update and then someone compiling it so we can use it, it's just an affirmation, or it's just a confirmation that SRG 320 is he's doing well. So and how do we find that out? Well, we get a core or we get something, and I guess that's just awesome news. Right, let's go to, I want to see if Metal Slug works now. Actually, some of the games that didn't work, so let's see. So I've got it on CD now, still on full speed. Okay, so there was 2 in there. I think I picked the bin file. Okay, cool. Yeah, that monkey can juggle really fast. You can see his gonads there. Okay. Interesting. See, this is what was happening before. So now that I put it on CD, it was kind of crashing once it got kind of 3/4, and it's doing the same thing now. So just kind of what was working before. Let's just change it on CDZ and just go for a reset and see if that boots up now, because I picked like the top option in there. Now we've gone for the bottom one. Like Metal Slug are such great games. No? Okay, so full speed, CDZ. Let's see if we can. Let's see. One more try. If not, I'm sure I may well be doing something a little wrong. Oh no, here we go. Cool. Nice. So now this should work because we've chosen CDZ and not CD. Should just go straight there. I really like. I don't know if anyone out there, did you guys ever play like Mercenary Kings? I thought it was a great concept, and it was really nice because I bought it on the PS Vita, and you can play it on the PS4 as well. So I used to play like multiplayer on that with friends of mine that were on their PlayStation 4s at the time. But for me, that's a fantastic game. Like, what a game! It just, the boss battles were a bit hard. The boss would like run around the whole map and you'd have to chase it down. But the grinding was kind of good. It was like kind of Monster Hunter, you know, where you kind of got the parts, you collected parts and you made better weapons. Whoops. with those parts. So I really hope like a sequel comes out to that, because that captured this vibe well, but it just gave you some RPG elements that I thought worked really well. I don't know if we'll ever see a sequel. Love to see a sequel, but those burning effects, man, they're just so good. I feel like the enemies aren't stopping, man. I don't know what the default difficulty is, but it definitely feels a little bit tougher than the other one. And you definitely want a heavy machine gun here. See, like that helicopter part where you're pointing up and shooting on the analog pocket, it's not that great, because having it up and trying to get that diagonal all the time, you can get it. It's not like you miss it every time, but you definitely miss it more than, you know, if you're using a decent controller like I am now. By the way, when the Neo Geo CD Core comes out, man, the Metal Slug games on the Neo Geo Pocket, they're really good as well. There's a lot of good games on there. I think the Sonic game on there is really good as well. No, what was never much of a Sonic guy when I was younger. I do like some of the ones. There was a ROM hack I looked at of Sonic recently. That I think it's called Sonic Delta. Big shout out to John Pez82, John Perry. Shout out to John Perry for actually recommending me that game, man. That's really good. I don't know, what's the best like Metal Slug? What's considered the best one? Yeah, they're all decent, but I have to say like 1 and 2 are probably like the most classic as far as you know, the classic stuff goes. Some guys on the Discord actually recommended that I do a video on the Wonder Swan and the Core, and that's something that's a good idea. So funny enough, I was driving earlier. My dad's over in the country for like another 2 weeks, so I was around with him, and we popped out, and I saw my cousin around there. There's quite a few. I've got quite a few family members within like a 1 mile radius, say. So I was like, look, man, I'm gonna have to borrow your Wonder Swan, so hopefully I can do a Wonder Swan video real soon. So I think I'll just film the real hardware to film the real hardware, but then I'm going to kind of do it on the MiSTer, sorry, pardon me, the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket. But yeah, that's a good core in the Analog Pocket. If you guys have got an Analog Pocket, that's a good, and that's a rare instance where the controls on the Analog Pocket are actually better than the real hardware controls, because you know, you had a really good version of Pocket Fighter on there, one that when I played it I enjoyed it, thought it was a good game, and yeah, the controls are just, they're terrible controls. Nice. Also, in other news, I kind of started playing Spider-Man on my Steam Deck, man. I can't believe like how well that game plays on a handheld. Locked at 40 FPS. Busy areas or crowded areas, it can drop to close to 30, but the frame pacing is just so good on that it does, even though I know it dips to near 30 sometimes, it doesn't feel like 30. It feels good. I kind of feel like playing, I haven't got enough time to play all the games I want to play, but I do at times want to play like the Batman Arkham games again. I completed the first one, Arkham Asylum. I never completed the second one, but I've got like all of them. I've got Arkham, what's the third one? I can't even remember what it's called now. Arkham City. Is it Arkham Knight's like the fourth one? I can't remember. But yeah, they're decent games as well, man. You know, as kids, that would have been amazing to play those. Arkham Asylum, though, when that came out, man, that was dope, man. That was super dope. No, that is a shotgun. Oh man, what was gonna avoid that? Never mind. Okay. Yo, real retro noob. Yes, this is. You're currently seeing this on the latest unstable build of the MiSTer operating system, and it is also the latest unstable version of the Neo Geo CD Core. Yeah, I've got it as the second. It's the 4th today, so it was released a couple of days ago. But I guess depending on where you are in the world, maybe it was yesterday. But it's almost 8. I don't think anyone's 20 hours behind or 20 hours plus behind. So I would, you know what? Let's try Puzzle Bobble. This frustrates me because I'm colorblind, so I like some of the newer ones where it's got nice, it's got some quality of life kind of changes in there that with it yeah, some quality of life changes that lets you change the colors, or you know, has like different shapes of things, or colorblind mode basically. It's one of the things that I did actually like Pocket Fighter. Was it Pocket Fighter? No, Puzzle Fighter. Really wanted to play that, being a Street Fighter fan. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading that. Never bring a knife to a shotgun fight. No, that's well said. But there's a colorblind hack of it made now, so I should really play that. You know, there's a lot. I'm gonna go easy because you know what, I'm a sucker. Okay, so that's red. Cool. Okay, so far so good. I think that's that color. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the shape inside. So the colors I have difficulties with is this color and the color directly above it. Like, I'll get confused with those. The blue and the reds, they're okay. So see, like, okay, so that is that one. So I'm kind of looking at the shape inside there, but it takes that extra little second to kind of register. But these games have aged really well, man. They're fantastic, like really well. Okay, so now if I can use the bounce and get that one. Oh, and there we go. Okay, that's that one done. I think these are games I need to introduce my wife to, you know. I think she'll like these games. She can get off what's the game she plays, man? It's called, like, I don't know what it's called. I keep thinking it's Happy Home Designer, but that's the Animal Crossing game, isn't it? My daughter's got that. She plays some game where you design a house. I mean, I don't get it. She does a lot of housework, and in her spare time she plays games about doing up a house. But it's one of those ones where you have diamonds, and you know, you can only do a certain number of things, and then it goes on a timeout. I tell her, look, play something, like play a DS. We've got a few DS's in the house, you know, I'll get you a Switch. I don't like sharing my electronics. Like if my wife ever was, oh, let me play your Switch, like I would just buy her a Switch and I'll be like, leave my Switch alone, don't touch it. I don't know, it's just something I don't like sharing my portable devices. You know, I like them to be mine. I don't like things getting messed up on them. I don't know if everyone else is like that. I'm definitely like that. Like, I'll buy her stuff. Remember when the iPads first came out, I was like, look, I want to get you an iPad. I think you'll like it. And she was like, no, I don't want an iPad. So I bought myself an iPad, and she just ended up using it all the time. So I gave it to her, and I think I bought myself like I think at those times there was like a Nexus tablet. I bought myself a smaller one, you know, a Nexus 7. I think that's what it was called. It was decent at the time. But definitely Android tablets don't age as well as the Apple ones. Big Bobble fan. It's nice to see. It's so nice to see like the little dinosaurs in here, man. Again, I know I keep going on about the Switch because I do use my Switch a bit. Still need to properly start Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm afraid to because that will kind of suck me in. But there's a Puzzle Bobble game out for it, and yeah, man, it's a decent game. Okay, let's see. Anyone want anything else, guys? Let me know. I'll do this round and let me know. But I think 8 o'clock will be the time. Or can we? Oh no! I thought that color was the same. See, look, that color looks identical to me. I guess is that blue and purple? Is that what it is? No, that kind of sucked. I thought I had that color. Hence why I don't play these games. At least not without the disability options. Okay, now I'm just... again, that color looks the same. Right, I've had enough. I'm gonna put something else on. Anyone else? Oh wow, okay, so do you know what? Okay, the Nexus 7, the first generation one, that didn't age well. However, the second one that came out, I have to say, that was actually decent. That was... yeah, the second one that they released was really, really good. But I had an issue with that. The backlight stopped working. So the tablet would work, but there was no backlight. You'd have to kind of go in a bright light and get some stuff. But I really did like the second one. I liked the first one when it came out, but I felt the first one just became very, very slow, very, very quick. Yeah, so Laserdisc, I have difficulties with the blue and the purple. Yeah. Cool. And you know what? Even though Android emulation is laggy somewhat, I did actually put RetroArch on there, and I put some games on there, and I did actually have a little bit of fun playing them. But there's just too much of a latency overhead on Android, I find, because even though I've got powerful Android devices now, be it my phone. I actually bought an AY and Odin Lite, and the reason I bought that is if there's a game where I don't need too fast reflexes, it's 1080p, 16:9, and I capture some footage on it on the go. Like, you know, once it's captured, you can't tell the difference between RetroArch on the PC and RetroArch on the Android. You know, only I tell the difference when I'm playing it, and I can feel that lag, you know, while I'm playing it. But yeah, man, like, yeah, Android was kind of all right for a little bit of time, but then yeah, there's too much latency on there. But I'm one of those. I used to adjust with the latency where friends of mine wouldn't, and it would kind of become the norm. Especially, I don't know if anyone played Fight K2 is really good now. They've got kind of a run ahead feature on there. It kind of it works really, really well. But in the original Fight K, I really adjusted to that lag. I used to play it quite a lot. I used to play Third Strike, Super Turbo on there, and you kind of adjust to it, but some people can't adjust to that. Later this, nah, that was, yeah, I guess, you know what, it could be the closest thing to a rage quit, but that's why I kind of stay away from those games, because hey, I like those games. But okay, I'm gonna have to go Dolphin again. That Dolphin is just too cool. We played part 2 earlier. Now we're on part 1, but yeah, again, good shmups. Okay, so this one, the screen's a lot bigger. Your sprite feels smaller on here. There's a lot happening. I cheat a bit, man. Like when I'm playing shmups, I really like using the 8-bit though PC Engine controller. It just works really well, and you've got the auto fire buttons directly on top. So if you don't want to use auto fire, like some shmups, you want the auto fire, but holding down will charge. So you don't want your normal attack button being auto fire. So it's nice to kind of have the 2 buttons there to go between the 2. I'm not ashamed to say, man, I don't mind using auto fire in shmups. If it's there, I'll use it. I know it's not accurate to how the original thing was, but hey, you know what? That's just me. I'll definitely use the auto fire. What the hell do these R's give me? Right. Oh, that's nice. He does like a water attack on there, man. I just noticed all his fires are like water things as well. Let's fire a little bit more water at you. Let's splash you down there, bud. I remember going to the arcade, and so we, like, a lot of times in the arcade, especially when I was older, when I was a kid, we played everything, all the one-player games. When I got older, it was predominantly Street Fighter that we played there, you know, like versus fighting games. Whatever it was fighting games. And in the arcade specifically that I used to remember, which was Casino. We used to call it Goode Street. It was actually on Tottenham Court Road, but it was next to Goode Street Tube Station, which was located on Tottenham Court Road. Goode Street is the next road around the corner. Now, there was a guy that was a shmups guy, and he was a friend of a friend's. And Garthman, buddy, if you're out there, then a big shout out to you. So Garthman was one of these guys that he just knew everyone. You know, I was good friends with him, and he just kind of knew everyone. You hung around with him, you met a lot of people, and he was good at any game he played. Street Fighter, Shmups, you know, he was one of them guys that could one life the Metal Slug games, wicked at games. And there was a guy that used to play Shmups, and he was really, really into Shmups and the shmup scene. And you know, watching this guy play was just amazing. The way he used to, the way the movement and the motions and the kind of circular movements he used to do, and when you had a whole screen full of bullets, how he knew what was the safe path where you could be. There was a lot of good people I used to play, and there was this guy, I think he had there was a guy with Down syndrome that used to go there as well, and he was amazing at Pac-Man. Like, this guy was amazing. Like, he used to like spend all day just playing Pac-Man. One credit, he never used to die. Like, he was, as long as I was in the arcade, I'd be in there for hours. This guy was on the same credit on Pac-Man. And what I didn't actually know on Pac-Man was there was a certain thing where you could trick the ghosts and you'd end up in a corner not moving, but like the game would just kind of, like, you could not die, you'd just be in that corner and the game would be in that state. And I said to the guy, I said, how come you're doing that? And he said to me, look, when you're playing the game all day, for like, if you're going to play the game for like 8 hours or whatever it is non-stop, you know, you need to give yourself a little break in between. So this is a trick that they used. Like, Pac-Man it was a little bit before my time of when I started getting to the arcades. I saw it in the arcades. You know, I may have even played it in the arcade. I definitely wiggled the Pac-Man stick when, you know, pretending to play as a kid. I definitely remember that. But yeah, this guy was amazing at it, man. So I used to speak to him in there, and he used to be like resting his Pac-Man in a corner. It was really interesting to see like these techniques in the old games. But the Pac-Man one I'll never forget, because ultimately you could leave the machine. Wow, that's a lot of power up. You could leave the machine in that state, and wow, it's like a bonus stage. Yeah, you could leave the machine in that state, and Pac-Man would just be in that corner. Okay, that is a lot of, I don't feel like I'm powering up, but there's a lot of power-ups there. Yeah, Laserdisc, man. Yeah, the 8-bit those stuff is yeah, it's good. I'm gonna pre-order after this stream. I'm gonna pre-order the Neo Geo one. I think it's worth having that kind of different controller. And I'm a big fan of like the RF controllers. Like, whatever latency these RF controllers produce, I don't feel them. I'm using one now. It's super responsive. So I don't know if there's people out there that are that like sensitive to latency that they can actually feel it. Honestly, I don't feel it. I feel the latency with Bluetooth. Bluetooth's terrible. Like, don't get me wrong, I can play a modern game on Bluetooth like quite well and enjoy myself on there. But when it comes to these old games, man, like, Bluetooth is a no-no. It's either RF or it's wired. But just RF is just so much more convenient, man. It's just nicely convenient. But let's do, what's the time now? Oh wow, okay, so I'm gonna do one more game, guys, and I'm gonna call that a wrap. Yeah, dude, yeah, you know what, with Pac-Man I don't know much about. I just remember that thing in there, and I just thought it was amazing. When I saw that, I thought it was amazing, because like, this guy, it was a black guy with Down syndrome. And like, you could see, he didn't have many friends. He probably got bullied throughout his life. But that's one thing about the arcade. When I was young in the arcade, yeah, they were a bit dodgy. Like, we spoke about the story, if you've been here for a relative part of the stream. You know, we spoke about how it was rough, and you know, you may have got robbed out there. But when you got older, it was a nice, safe place. So this guy came with like Down syndrome, everything in there, but he kind of made friends, and you could see it, like, he was happy, you know, just to kind of have the company. So even though he spent all day playing Pac-Man, but the guy was cool. Like, I used to speak to him, man. The guy was legit cool. Like, legit. I genuinely liked the guy. There was a guy that used to call himself Dragon. He clearly had mental issues, and I got into arguments with a couple of the guys in the arcade because they kind of used to make fun of him, and I found that to be bad, because the guy is clearly like is mentally unwell. Like, you know, they used to make him do stuff like the Hadouken, and he used to do like weird ninja moves and everything, but he was living in like a fantasy world. But generally speaking, like, arcades now, or arcades even like like we're going back like 15 years or so, 15, even 20 years, you know, when I was about mid-20s, because all the nerds were there and people have moved on to like PlayStations and things, you didn't have like all the troublemakers hanging around there. You just had all the nerds there. It was a very, very safe place. I mean, the worst thing that could happen to you is you might get beaten up at Street Fighter. Yeah, sorry, Real Retro Noob. RF, sorry, I always refer to that. It's radio frequency. So yeah, the 2.4 gigahertz, it's RF. It's a radio frequency controller. So let's have a look. Yeah, so I always refer to them as RF controllers. They're generally listed somewhere. They will have RF written in there as well, somewhere in the listing. But yeah, sorry, going back to the arcades, like, they're just a safe place now. It's a shame we don't have too many arcades. We've got one, it's only down the road from me, and do you know, it's a nice place. You pay an admission fee, and you stay there as long as you like. It's like £5 on, I think, Thursdays and Fridays, but they open in the evening from like 5 p.m. or something. Saturday, Sunday, they're open like from 10, 11 or probably 11 to like 11 at night, and it's £10 for the whole day. And you go there, but again, it's just a nice place. Such a friendly bunch in there, man. Like, the guys there are cool. Like, you go in there, you're chatting to people. They're all like-minded people. You've got like a whole bunch of young guys there. This place, Free Play City, if you're ever in North London, it's worth checking out. And you know, there's a lot of PlayStations here, so you've got guys playing like new games there, like I guess it was Tekken 7, now it'll be Tekken 8 because that's coming out soon. They'll be playing like Soul Calibur. I saw Grand Blue Versus there. I actually tried it out there. Someone let me use their arcade stick, and there was a little girl character which she had the same moveset as Honda, so I tried it out. That game was alright, but they've got Super Turbo there. They've got a 2 or 3 Street Fighter 3 Third Strike machines. They've actually got a MiSTer there as well, if that's something you want to use. What's that? Okay, that is funny. I don't know, like, yeah, sorry, noob. RF definitely is more responsive. It has less latency than Bluetooth. Bluetooth, for me, playing old games on there, like playing what you're seeing on screen now on there, I can just feel the delay. I have played on there before, but I can definitely feel the delay. But with 2.4, with the 2.4 gigahertz, I feel good with that. So the 8-bit, I've got an 8-bit arcade stick. I like it. I don't like it for beat 'em ups because I find there's not enough space on the left hand side for my hand to rest. But for non-fighters, for beat 'em ups, shmups, it's a good stick, and it's a 2.4 gigahertz one as well, and it works really well. But guys, I'm kind of end this here. Honestly, it's been fun chatting to you guys. I really enjoyed. But I enjoy doing the live streams because it's actually kind of nice chatting, playing, and kind of just going through this stuff with you guys. But in conclusion, this call, like, it's near perfect. Like, I'm not finding any stuff wrong with it. You know, fair enough, I can't compare it to real hardware because I never played the real hardware. But man, like, I'm not finding anything dodgy here. There's some games that aren't loading, but I think those are just my games. Maybe they've got protection on there. They haven't had the protection removed. I kind of look at maybe getting like more games for this on a larger set. The card that I'm using for the unstable one is 128 gig. I've got 512 kicking about that was in the Asus ROG Ally, so I've got that. I kind of just need to go into MiSTer Fusion, make my new card, and then I'll have a lot more space to put more stuff on there, because on this one at the moment I've got Saturn games and I've got the Neo Geo CD stuff, and I think there's like maybe 6 or 7 gig spare left on the card. So I'll just need to get around to that, get my lazy ass on there. Yeah, Laserdisc, it was a pleasure chatting to you, man. Like, all you guys, honestly, a Retro Noob, amazing. The N30 controller. Okay, cool. No worries. Maybe I'm like Retro Noob. The next controller I'm buying is that Neo Geo one with a little round nub thing on there. I'm gonna order that kind of like now. I'm gonna go down, maybe have a cup of tea or a black coffee. Not quite sure what I want. I guess I'll decide when I come. When I go down, but I'm gonna order that while I drink my drink. But guys, look, honestly, thank you, like, legit, it's a pleasure having you guys here. So yeah, definitely, yeah, I'll be doing a news video tomorrow, so tune into that, and I'll do the usual line. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and like all that good stuff is super appreciated. Thanks, honestly, it means a lot, you guys dropping by on the stream. Honestly, I have a blast like streaming. So I'll see you guys